Have you ever truly wondered what money is? Not the paper you touch, not the digital balance you see, but the idea behind it. The belief that something small can decide your access to food, shelter, or power. But the truth is, humanity once lived with no money at all. In the earliest days, humans lived in small tribes, where survival was the only goal. People hunted, gathered, and shared food with each other. Acts of generosity were not optional. They were necessary for life itself. But once tribes grew larger, cracks started to appear. What if someone took more food than they gave? What if someone refused to help after taking help from others? This problem of fairness became dangerous. Humans needed a solution that didn't depend on trust alone, and so the first economic system was born: barter. If you had wheat and I had fish, we traded. A goat for grain, a pot for tools. But barter quickly became a nightmare. The fisherman needed bread, but the baker didn't need fish. The potter wanted cows, but animals weren't easy to transport. Even when two people wanted to trade, they couldn't agree on value. How many chickens equal a goat? Is a spear worth one pot or two? Who decides? Barter created more arguments than solutions. Humanity needed something universal, something accepted by everyone, something that stored value, something light and durable. This is where the idea of money was born. But it didn't begin with paper or coins. It began with objects that humans chose to trust. Different regions picked different items. Mesopotamians used barley. Africans used cowrie shells. Romans used salt. The Pacific Islands used giant stone wheels. These objects became the earliest forms of money because they were recognizable, portable, and widely accepted. Humanity had invented a new language, a language of value. But this was just the beginning. What came next would reshape civilization forever. As societies expanded, early objects of money began to fail. Grain could rot, salt could dissolve, shells could break, and huge stone wheels were nearly impossible to move. Humanity needed something stronger. More reliable. More valable. That's when ancient civilizations discovered the magic of gold and silver. These metals didn't rust, didn't rot, and didn't fade. They were rare, beautiful, and everlasting. A small piece of gold could carry the value of an entire farm. Silver could pay soldiers, workers, and merchants across great distances. But stones and metals were not standardized. One trader's silver piece could weigh more than another's. It caused confusion and mistrust. And so, around 600 BC, in the ancient kingdom of Lydia, one of the greatest inventions in human history appeared. The first official coin, stamped with the symbol of the king. Each coin guaranteed its weight, purity, and value. This single change transformed humans from local barterers into global traders. Markets flourished. Soldiers were now paid reliably. Taxes were collected systematically. Empires expanded their reach. Whoever controlled the coins controlled the world. But barter! Many rulers discovered they could cheat the system by mixing gold with cheaper metals. They paid soldiers with diluted coins to save real gold for themselves. Inflation, one of the greatest economic threats, was born. The Roman Empire fell victim to this financial poison. Roman emperors kept reducing the silver in their coins over centuries, until the currency became nearly worthless. Trust collapsed. Prices exploded. Trade broke down. Soldiers rebelled. The empire itself crumbled. Money, which once built the world, now played a part in destroying it. But while the West struggled with coins, the East was preparing to create something even more revolutionary, something that would change money forever. Far away in China, merchants and travelers faced a problem. Carrying metal coins was heavy, slow, and dangerous. Robbers targeted them. Long-distance trade became risky. A new form of money was desperately needed. And so, in the 9th century, China invented paper money. People resisted at first. How could a small, fragile piece of paper represent real value? But the government backed each note with precious metals, and slowly, Trusts grew. The world had entered a new financial era. Then governments discovered a dangerous secret. They could print more notes than the gold they actually had. This was the birth of fiat currency money backed only by trust, not by gold. When paper money finally reached Europe, banking took a giant leap. Banks held gold and gave people paper receipts. But soon, banks issued more paper than the gold in their vaults. This system, called fractional reserve banking, still exists today. It fueled massive progress railways, industries, global trade, but it also triggered devastating crashes like the Panic of 1873, the Great Depression, the hyperinflation of Germany in the 1920s, the global financial crisis of 2008. Each crisis showed that money was no longer a physical object. It was becoming a belief fragile, powerful, and unpredictable. In 1971, the world changed forever. The United States ended the gold standard. From that day on, money was purely imaginary, just numbers, guaranteed by government promise. Today, money exists mostly as digital code, balances on screens, credit numbers, debt entries, online transfers, and now, a new revolution is unfolding before our eyes. Blockchain, decentralized finance, digital wallets, and AI-driven currencies. For the first time since the invention of coins, humanity is reinventing money all over again. So, how was money really invented? It was not born in a palace, not created by kings, not designed by geniuses. It emerged from necessity, from humans trying to solve problems of trust, fairness, trade, and survival. Money is not a thing. Money is an agreement, a shared story, a belief strong enough to build empires and fragile enough to destroy them. And the story of money, just like humanity, is still evolving.